Hey everybody, welcome back to Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff. A turning student of mine messaged me and said, hey, do you want some cherry slabs that I've just got kicking around? I don't want them. I was, yes, obviously. The answer's yes. He said, they're a little bit twisted and they've got some cracks and stuff. I'd bring them. Free cherry slabs? Yeah, whatevs. Let's see how much usable wood I can get out of these. They are all 8 feet long, 8-quarter slabs of cherry. This is a lesson in what not to do when you have a tree milled up in terms of drying, because these are unusable in their current state. They are unstorable in their current state because of how much room they would take up on the racks, twists and stuff. It's bad. But I'm going to break them down into usable chunks. I'm going to see what I can salvage out of them. I'm thankful for the free wood, but let this be a lesson to those of you who have trees taken down and want to have them milled up. Dry them flat. Come on. Okay, so like I said, these slabs are all 8+ feet long. This one is 4-quarter. That's just an inch thick. The rest of them are all cut to 8-quarter. But they are in terrible, terrible shape. This guy here looks the worst, but will probably end up being the best in terms of what kind of sticks I can get out of it. We'll get into that in a minute. I don't know if these are going to show up. They all have these huge, like, angled cracks going through. That one gets really bad up at the top, but all the way through it, it's got all these diagonal cracks going. So this guy's, they're going the other way, but they're there. They've got these terrible, terrible diagonal cracks this direction, and they're also going to be diagonal that way through the board. And they're just twisted to all get out. When we pull them down, I'll show you guys like how much twist is in these. But like I said, they are in my way. I need to get them out of my way and up onto the lumber rack. So let's see what kind of wood we can get out of them that's storable and then usable later. Look at this. That far corner is clamped down. It's 3.5 inches of twist down the length of this board. Woo! Okay, so this is the one that I said looks the worst, but will probably be the best in terms of the wood we're going to get out of it. And that's because the way that it cracked is basically right down the middle. This is almost from the center of the tree. So this is probably the pith of the tree, which is why it cracked like this. But that also means that this stuff on either side of this crack is all going to be almost perfectly quarter sawn, which is pretty rad. And once I finish cracking this basically and pull out all the wood from either side, it's pretty clear on either side of it. I got a couple of knots about every 2 feet. Every 2 feet down this side, and then just one here, and then this should all be relatively clear. And those are like 4+ inch sections. So I should have some pretty decent quarter sawn pieces of wood coming out of here, but it's serious twist. So we're gonna buck it up and see what we can get that's flat enough to store decently. Let's start. We'll just cut it right there on those knots. And cut this like that. Cut the rest of this right down the middle, and we'll start like that and see what those pieces end up looking like, and if we need to break it down any further than that. I feel like I could just, I'm not going to be strong enough, but I feel like I could almost just crack that. Ugh. That's a decent piece of wood. That's got a problem, but it's got a problem. So even cutting in half right down the middle, I still have like a huge amount of twist, even in just this like sort of 4.5 inch board. But I feel like they'll at least be storable with just one more cut each. I'm going to cut this one here. I'm going to cut this one here. So I'll have like a 2 foot and a 4 foot chunk out of these two. And then with the 2 foot chunks, one of them, I don't know how that's going to end up over, but that's a pretty decent piece of wood. At least this one will be processed enough to be storable up on the racks with just 2 more cuts. Right here and right here. Still a lot of twist in that. Okay, storable chunks of wood that won't take up 6 inches of depth on the shelf. They'll only take up 3. On to the next one. Probably about the same. Oh, that's even more. Like 4 inches. 4 inches at the corner. If you were to look at this side of this slab, you would think this is a pretty nice slab of wood. But because of these big diagonal cracks and the twist, I can't store it like this. I'm never going to be able to use it like this. So I think just getting flat chunks this way, so each 2.5 foot section or so is probably going to be flat enough to store. So I think I'm just going to go pop, pop, and put it up on the rack and worry about it later, because each section like that should be relatively flat. But then who knows, when I actually go to use it, who knows what I'm going to actually be able to get out of each of those. But it's the best I can do for now, I think. It's flat-ish to about... That looks flattish, flattish, flattish. They're on sort of 3 geometric-ish planes. It's only rocking about a 1/2 inch. Which is still terrible. But I guess better is better. That's got a little cup in it, I think. Actually, I'm going to rip these ones down the middle too. Just because they'll lay flatter. I'm never going to need, I'm never going to get more than a 3 or 4 inch, 2 inch thick piece out of any of this anyway. So I might as well cut it that way now so that it stores flatter. Actually, this particular one looks like I might be able to get a bowl blank right out of here. There aren't any cracks in this like 8-inch section right here. So this one I'll keep like this. These two I think I'll rip down the middle as well. Next up, it's funny every time, but it's not funny. Shame on the person who milled these things and just threw them in a pile somewhere to let them do this. Oh. Some of those diagonal cracks look like they might be relatively surface level. Not that one. I think I'll just leave this one here. Those will store flat-ish enough, I guess. Oh. Like that. Sure. All right, last of the 8 quarters. Maybe a bowl blank there. Nah, that's about all. Maybe a bowl blank there. Or, yeah, that's probably what'll happen. I'll do a bowl blank here. So mad. Why would you just, don't, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna just throw them in a pile after they're milled and let them do this, you might as well not have it milled and just chop it up and have somebody come take it for firewood or something. Flat enough to store and get out of my way. Guess the last thing I gotta do before it goes up on the rack is just take all the stupid live edge off all of this, because there's a 0% chance that I'm ever gonna want a live edge on the edge of a piece of cherry, because live edge is stupid and dumb. Let's do that. Decent pieces in there. Well, it's actually a pretty good sized pile of wood, all things considered. I'm still pretty disappointed at whoever slabbed that up and dried it poorly. But I'm going to get a fair bit of usable wood out of it, and I just don't really know what it's going to be usable for, really. Something that needs to be made out of cherry for whatever reason, but that I also don't mind incorporating a bunch of sapwood and doing some crack filling, and doesn't have very big parts, really. Nothing longer than about 20 inches. I can't foresee what kind of project this is going to be useful for, but at the very least, it's probably going to make my cherry rack look impressive, I guess. That's it for this one. It's at least in a state that it's storable, and I've got this space back and can finally do whatever it is I'm going to do with this wall section here. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, everybody. We'll see you next time. Come on back, and we'll see if I ever end up making anything with this. Well, I will. Because I'm not going to go through all this work and then never use it, right? That's not a thing that I'm going to do, is it? Bye for now. Ah, damn it. Good start. It's actually a pretty good size. It's pretty. It's a bit. It turns out it's actually a pretty good. Yeah. Make sure that you like the video and you subscribe to all the things that I have to say. You know, the YouTubey things that I gotta say. Smash that like button. Make sure you smash the bell. Ah! Surprised face. YouTube is stupid. Let's try again. Let's try again.